What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Heel Hookers podcast, episode 124. And boy, am I so happy to be sitting down here today with you peoples, ready to talk about all the shit that we got to experience. UFC 306 at the Sphere, Noche UFC, presented by Riyadh Season.
Yes.
Yeah. There are so many things with it. Before we get into all that, like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. We appreciate everyone that does. Let's go. Yes. All right. The Sphere. I was blown away and also disappointed at times, but it was incredible. I guess to start it off, the first thing. Bro, what a fucking cock tease of Dana to fucking be like, you gotta get there right at the start, be there. And then they show that shit to start the first fight, and it's like scaffolding. Like that's what it looks like a dim red light, and then like scaffolding throughout the place. It's like, what the fuck?
No, yeah, the Sphere not lit up, the screen's not out, nothing on those walls is ugly and gives Street Fighter vibes.
I really, when that shit like opened up and I saw that for the first fight and everything, I was extremely let down. I was like, okay, like this is. And then Ginger, you did send the thing of like, yeah, that the movies and all that were supposed to be like just for the main card. So I was like, okay, main card makes a bit more sense, you know. But
and then, like I had mentioned before, like, you know, the first fight, I did notice like way in like the that dark part is like an emblem on. Okay, what's that? What's up with that? And then as each fight progressed, like it got closer and closer to like the opening. So I'm like, okay, so it's the scaffolding with that, like the background to show it's like building up. It's building the foundation for the car. That's kind of a cool idea. I can understand that, but that is such a ballsy move by fucking Dana to do it that way.
And it's like, it's one of those things. It's like, you've been fucking saying it to me the whole time. Just manage your expectations, you know what I mean? And especially with fucking Dana White hyping shit up, because it's one of those things where it's like he hypes up shit all the time and it never turns out the same.
Well, and I guess that's his literal job.
Yeah, but like I guess for me with it too, it's like he doesn't ever like, and I know the whole thing with the Sphere, it's gonna be the production and all of that, but it's like that's never the focus of what the UFC is trying to do. Like that's been a big criticism, is that there's no flash, there's no pizzazz to any of their events. It all just feels like the same. It doesn't matter if they're in Australia or if they're in Brazil or if they're in Canada. It's the same layout, it's the same thing. It's like you just have the fans in the like there in the arena to give it the feel of like, oh, big card. But with this, you know, it's like, okay, he's really hyping up the production. It's like, what are we gonna get? And then once they started cooking with that shit, holy bro.
Yeah, incredible. There was no disappointment to be had. Like, it was beautiful to watch. We always watch the fights like on the computer or like, you know, the little TV screen here. We straight up brought in the big living room TV, brought it in here, watching it on the big screen. Oh, amazing. Incredible.
So worth it. It is like, yeah, we can't have that shit on a little monitor. Needed a nice big TV. And those little movies that they did before every single fight were true. Like, that's honestly what it felt like. It really felt like I was sitting down, like, prepared to watch a movie. And
like they were little short films, and it was just so intense and just the production value of it, watching it come at you, it was like, holy shit, you're in a movie theater.
It was one of those things where it's like, see, the UFC can do shit. They can actually do production. Fucking do it.
One thing I was saying to Jimmy is I feel like this is one of those fight cards where I actually think that the people that got like the nosebleed seats and those top rows got the best fucking view, because you've seen the people on the ground looking and they're breaking their neck to look all around. You just sitting in the back, you got this whole screen, like, damn, this is crazy. Like, that's the type of event where, like, I think it's better off higher up, where you really get to experience what that venue has to offer.
Because it's like, most of, like, unless you're real up close or whatever, you know, it's like you're going to be watching on, like, the screen showing the fight anyway. And even with your up close, it's like all they got to do is get behind whatever post that you're sitting, like, behind, and then you have to look up anyway.
I was going to say, between the cameraman, the post, the referee, like, there are plenty of times that you could literally be right there and still have to look at the TV. Like,
100%.
But yeah, and to the transition from the little movies into the backdrop laying out before every single fight as well. Yeah, that
like, bro, imagine fighting in front of that. That must have been such a crazy feeling for these fighters.
No, yeah.
Just super intense, but that's awesome.
yeah. It's
definitely didn't seem like it distracted anyone, though. I will say that.
No.
Yeah, no, not at all. Which it's like that. I do think that was a smart thing on the UFC of like, while the actual fight is going on, like, hey, let's not have all these moving parts to the sphere. Like,
no, yeah, for sure.
Playing out.
I very much appreciate that.
Yeah, keep it static. Keep it a static image.
But yeah, to get to the fights themselves, though, wow, like 10 fights on this card, and some of these fights, exactly how I thought. Others not so much. But let's motherfucking get into it. The main event: Merab Dvalishvili, 5-round unanimous decision, gets it done over Sugar Sean O'Malley. The Sugar Show closes. Finally comes to an end. He did not perform. Neither of them performed at all how I thought they were going to.
No, it was very evident early that both of them respected each other's strengths.
Yes.
Sean was very aware of the takedown threat and like was performing differently because of it, and Merab was very aware of the knockout threat and also performed differently because of it. But boy, did he put together the game plan to get through that threat. Like
because it was so crazy for basically the entire fight as it was going out. And like obviously as the fight starts to, play out and like, Sean's like forced through these grappling exchanges, he's getting more tired, like you're gonna understand his striking isn't gonna be there. But like even earlier on and just the consistency with it, Merab to just be on the outside, like out at range with Sean O'Malley, and Sean is just not doing his shit at all. Like he barely threw any strikes. Like that was one of the big things, one of the big stats that they show, for Sean O'Malley every time he fights is how many strikes he lands per minute, because he's always active. He's always putting on so many shots. He just could not do that to Merab.
Yeah, in 25-minute period, he landed a total of 49 strikes.
Which is insane. That's 2 strikes or what, a minute? Essentially.
Basically.
Yeah.
Like
and what, 47 significant?
Yeah, 47 significant, 49 total.
Like, there has never been anyone in the UFC to suppress the numbers of Sean O'Malley like that at all.
No.
And that's where it's like with Merab, that's what he does. He does so much where he's going after you and like doing it. But it wasn't the same sort of game plan that he laid out like against everyone else, where he's just in front of you, like just pushing forward, just grabbing takedowns constantly. I think he went for about 15 takedowns or so.
Yep, 15.
But it's like, Sean definitely did a really good job defending a lot of them, like getting up from a lot of them too. Like It was crazy that the fact that even Sean, like, on 2 of the judges' scorecards, like, 48-47, won the 3rd and 5th round. I didn't check to see, but I would only imagine that those have to be the rounds that they gave him. Like, there's no other rounds that when I was watching, I saw you could have given him. But it's like, just what a great performance for Merab. Just really showed his fight IQ in this one. I feel like the footwork was amazing from him, and man, new bantamweight champion, motherfucking Merab Dvalishvili, 11-fight win streak, just absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
No,
that was awesome to see. I was so happy for him. All the emotion afterwards when he got the belt too. Like, I'm just so happy. I'm new.
Oh yeah, because he's fought so hard, tooth and nail, through so many former champs and so many tough matchups for him to get here, finally get his moment, everything built around Sean, and for him to get it done, And
then, because even to put himself at the disadvantage of respecting Aljo enough as a friend that he put the competition aside and is like, no, I'm not going to fight for the belt while he's champion, put himself through more adversity than he had to go through and still just able to get it done. Yeah. Like, that's awesome.
It's like if he was down to fight Aljo, he probably, instead of fighting Jose Aldo, he probably could have fought him for the title. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, and nope, let's take on fucking Jose, former champ in fucking Salt Lake City at altitude. You know what I mean? Oh, let's take fucking Piotr Jan in 5 rounds. Not, you know what I mean? It's like, Merab's got the cardio, but like 5 rounds is Piotr Jan's thing. Like, do that. Oh, no fucking problem setting records against him and shit.
Henry
No,
Cejudo,
yeah.
he's an Olympic wrestler and wrestling's your thing. Let's have you fight him.
Yep.
Like,
On the older side, just had
His-
one fight coming back. Let's do a 3-round fight because that's easily going to favor Henry in this fight over Merab. Nope, didn't matter either way.
His last 4 opponents have all been champions in some way, whether it be 145 double champ in Cejudo's case and 35 champ in O'Malley and Jan.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane.
Yeah. He is really putting together an incredible resume underneath it. It's like, motherfucking the machine, man. Merab Dvalishvili is an absolute problem for everyone in this division. They were showing it on the broadcast afterwards. Clearly, the next person that they're looking to get in there to fight Merab is going to be Umar Nurmagomedov.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things where, like, because, even with going, like, for the preview of this one, all of us felt like Sean was going to get it done. We knew that the path for Merab, was there, but, but just not giving him the most chance that he probably should have been given. And for him to get it done this way, it's like, Umar's got the striking that can easily be a threat for Merab. He's got the submission game that can easily be a threat for Merab. He's got the grappling to, like, defend and not be worried about that, to actually do more with the striking when he's on his feet. He went 5 rounds with Corey. Wasn't the highest paced fight against Corey. That was more of a methodical, you know what I mean? Just like real technical 5 rounds. I don't know if Umar can hang with Merab over 5 and actually do enough to get it done to win the rounds or to actually be able to put him out.
I was going to say, I feel like he'd have to get him out of there.
More than likely.
I don't know. It's an interesting fight for sure.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Because it...
I was going to say at a press conference, Merab was very adamant that Davidson Figueiredo deserves the title shot more than Umar.
Yeah.
I can kind of understand where he's coming from with that.
Yeah, I don't disagree with him. Like, with him saying that, Figgy is former champ. He moved up into 135. He has been on a good streak since.
Yeah.
He just beat the guy that last fought for a title.
Yeah.
And he was the first person to actually drop him. You know what I mean? Like, he might not have finished him, but he's the person who got the closest to it. It was a pretty dominant win. It's just, like with him having the 3 fights, I understand thinking that he deserves it more than somebody whose only top 15 win is Corey, but granted, Corey is a top 5 guy, and obviously he has the best win, but Figgy has the most wins. It's...
Yeah. And I mean, their wins are, it's not even like Corey versus Marlon Vera is like that far of a difference in terms of quality of win either.
Yeah.
Because Cheeto was, I think top 5 at that point still, was number 5, but...
No, yeah, but just to my point that obviously Corey beat him, just higher up. Like, he has the best win. It's just either one of them could be in the talks for it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, because I can understand it, and personally, I wouldn't mind it because I can already, I'm just in my own head, matchmaker right now. Would be like, all right, we do Merab and Figueiredo, right? Piotr Jan versus Umar, Corey versus Sean.
That's
definitely
not a bad
those
way.
3 fights.
Yeah, that's definitely not a bad way to go about it at all. Because with them, you get all fresh fights every way. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things where it's like the UFC doesn't often do things of like showing someone setting up the next title fight, whatever. You know what I mean? It's like Umar was there front row to be on the camera after Merab won. Davison Figueiredo was not. You know what I mean?
No, I know.
It's just one of those things where for sure Umar is gonna get the title, and then it's like, and then it's like what? Because then Merab's gonna be like, no, I don't want to fight Umar, I want to fight Figgy, and then it's like if they don't just straight up strip him, then they're gonna just be like, okay, well, an interim title, and then they're, you know what I mean? And then so
I think it's just they tend not to show unless something happens where like Umar can't fight for whatever reason at the date they want because he gets injured or whatever, and then blah blah blah. Yeah. But even then, I wouldn't mind the fights of Merab versus Umar, Figgy versus Jan, Corey versus Sean. I'm getting my Corey versus Sean.
just one of those things. Like, how sad to get that with both of them coming off losses. You
I know.
Like, it's just crazy how things change so fast.
Yep.
No, yeah, for real.
But yeah, just either way though, no matter who Merab fights next, it would be awesome for him to at least get one title defense for him to hold on for to that belt for a little bit. Just really becoming a fan favorite in the last year or so. It good for Merab, man. And then yeah, for Sean, it's just a rough one. Just did not perform well at all.
Nope.
And so it's just like, yeah, there's always with him being pushed as such a big star and now losing in this fashion. It's just like, okay, well, does the UFC just go back to like trying to give him like a few favorable fights to get like right back in there, or are they just gonna be like, okay, well, we gave you your opportunity to kind of become like a big star, you kind of fucked that up with losing, so now you're just kind of in the mix, you know what I mean? Because it's like they got Umar to push now too, so it's like,
yeah,
because like with at least his last loss against Cheeto, he had the whole like it wasn't really a loss, it was an injury thing. Like this is just undeniable. You got dominated for at minimum 3 of the rounds. I personally had 4 of the rounds, him winning, so Merab winning. So
yeah, but no, it's definitely a rough loss for his image and everything. But I feel like he really does have to go into like a 5-round fight against a top 5 guy and really cement his spot as like a top guy in this division. I feel like that would be the best thing for Sean O'Malley at this point.
Yeah.
No, yeah, and I mean like I really do like I know it's like both of them coming off losses. I really like that Corey fight. And then I mean, and I wouldn't mind a 5-round rematch against Piotr Jan.
Yeah.
I would not mind that.
That's honestly where I feel like Umar's getting the next title shot against Merab. Yes. Let's do Piotr versus fucking Sean O'Malley 5-round rematch. You know what I mean? Like
that's where Sean loses all his hype.
I just feel like it's
potentially
it's just a necessary thing. You know what I mean? Because it's like if you can't beat Piotr Jan 5 rounds in a rematch, it's like then you know.
No,
what I
mean? Feel you. Yeah.
And then it's probably Corey versus Davison.
Corey Ficky.
Because
I don't mind that fight.
Because it's like, even though Corey just lost over 5 rounds to Umar, it's like, the UFC is going to be very grateful for him to take that fight. Having to wait so long to like get it done and all of that. So like they're not going to be like, okay, well, fight fucking
Mario Batista.
Well, Mario was fighting so like Kyler Phillips or some shit. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what I meant though. Down, all the way down. No, if they gave him like Dominic Cruz, that'd be one thing, just because like that'd be a legend. Like just give him a name.
Yeah. But yeah, so I feel like there's a good chance that that's how things are probably gonna play out, because then it's like Davison goes out there, fucking is able to sub Corey or beat him in any fashion. Now it's like after that now, but then it's like fucking Jan goes out there and beats Sean. Then you're still, who knows how that shit's gonna play out. It's gonna depend on performances, but. Bantamweight, it's a great division. So many great fighters, and you can't really go wrong however you match make it.
No, yeah, exactly. Especially like with a lot of the guys coming up who are not even ranked right now. It's it's about to be. It's already stacked, and it's like, god damn, there are more guys on the way.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely the most talent-rich division on the men's side. And easily the most talent-rich division on the women's side is 125 pounds, which the title was going down in the co-main event. Valentina Shevchenko versus Alexa Grasso 3. And so it was so funny before the fight, watching, like, they showed the little thing of the odds, but like going into every single fight. The first fight, Valentina being like a minus 850. The rematch, she was like a minus 160, and then Grasso almost a minus 200 favorite heading into this one. And with how this fight played out, it was like, I feel like this is how everyone thought the first fight was going to play out.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was just going to be another easy win for Valentina, another fucking just little ruby on the belt of another title defense, and we just move on with the division. Because this...
It's the fact that it took 3 fights for her to get to this, for her to finally like get to this game plan to get this win.
Well, I mean,
it is kind of crazy.
It sucks for her, but it also sucks on Alexa's part, because it's like, in the first fight, she was easily beating Alexa, and then Alexa was training for that one move, and or obviously she trained for a lot, but like when that shit happened, you know what I mean? She was like, I've been training for this, and she got that neck, and it was beautiful of her. The second fight, I thought Alexa was winning, but the way the judges scored it with that 10-8, it should have just gone to Valentina because it shouldn't have been a 10-8 round, and it wouldn't have been a draw, and then Valentina would have had the belt, and we wouldn't be here. So now we had to get here, and it's just...
And I think the biggest reason is each of these fights have been close. The first fight, a lot of people had it 2-2. I had it 3-1 if I remember right, Valentina, but it was like essentially like extremely close fight by the end of before the finish. Second fight obviously went to a draw and still was going to be a 3-2 decision for Valentina if it wasn't a 10-8 round. Like, we did not expect a 5-round just grapple fucking, to be fair.
No, yeah. And because, I mean, like, with like obviously the grappling being such like a heavy game plan in this one, across the first two fights, it's like she got 4 takedowns in both of those first two fights, attempting 6 in the first one, 7 in the second one. But so it's like clearly grappling was always was always a part of it. Like, she's a very well-rounded mixed martial artist, you know? But this one, shooting 12 takedowns, getting 8, you could just tell that there was a way more concerted effort to really get her down, to really hold her and like make that a main part of it. And it like, you know, just to like would have to just rewatch it and like just kind of break it down, you know, but like just the timing of like the takedowns, like she was just finding them way easier in this fight. And because there were just moments where she would shoot in and Alexa Grasso would just fall over like she had no takedown defense, and it's like bro, we know that you can do better, and like you've shown that you can do it in other moments of the fight, but yeah, it really was just Valentina finally putting all of the adjustments together across the first two fights into this third one, and Alexa Grasso was not prepared even the slightest for it, didn't have any adjustments to make throughout the fight, and then just, I don't know, even as the fight started going on, just the willingness to kind of like go out there and just like do something crazy to just go for broke, you know? It just
looked
like
frustrated. She kind of looked like she gave up a little bit, you know? Like she knew she was losing, and she just kind of like her spirit broke. I don't know.
I was about to say that one. I noticed that in the like when in that fight, but also in the main event when O'Malley went to the corner before the 5th round. Oh, yeah. He looked completely and utterly defeated.
Yeah, all Tim had to say to him was...
It's almost over.
It's almost over. You have 5 more minutes. And what was the other thing?
And he was just trying to say like to throw like, you know, a straight and then land like a knee behind it. Like he was trying to get him to like just land the big shot. Like
there was something right before that, but it was just one of those things where it's like you knew that he was just like, there's nothing I can say to him right now. Like,
It was funny because it was like once he landed that fucking front kick to the body and hurt Merab's body, it was just he came back to life for that because he's like, there's a path.
But
no.
Alexa Grasso, just not enough life in this performance at all. It's like she had 1 takedown of her own early in the first round, was going for some sub attempts. She did get accredited with 2 of them. Across 25 minutes, landing a total of 18 significant strikes.
Throwing 100.
It's like you got dominated, shut out, and outclassed. You know what I mean? There's just really not much else to it. Valentina should be defending against Manon Fiorot, no doubt about that. And Alexa Grasso, whoever the UFC really wants to push after like another big win or something, you know what I mean? You got because Aaron and Rose are fighting. You got Macy Barber in the mix. You got Natalia Silva in the mix. So who knows how they're gonna go about it? But
I could see it being
she's
Macy
definitely
Barber.
gonna need to build back up for sure.
I can see it being Macy.
That's very possible. But yeah, great for Valentina. Add into the legacy, just incredible.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing with Shevchenko at this point. It's like another fighter who's won their belt back. I think in all 3 women's divisions, it's now happened. She had Rose do first time at 115, right?
Yeah, she was the first 2-time champ.
And then Valentina's obviously the first 2-time champ because there's only been 3.
Yeah. And then
Nunez, right?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's another piece of legacy.
yeah, another piece of a legacy to the legacy. Gonna defend her. Gonna go to try to defend this one again. And yeah, it's like.
Do you think that if she defends against Manon Fiorot, and like let's say she has a great performance, really just like gets starts to get back to like the just like all the hype and everything of Valentina like as like the dominant champ.
Yeah.
Do you think she looks to go back up to 135 pounds and become a division champion before she bounces out? I'm pretty sure she is 36 years old. She doesn't have much time left in the sport. It's like
I'm gonna say it depends on who the hell the champion is at 135. If it's Kayla Harrison, I don't think she does it.
You don't think
Kayla's just too big, too strong. Gonna just ragdoll her, I think.
Like that's definitely a fair point to think that, but you don't think Valentina's up for that challenge? Like, if she regained the title, if she defends against the next like best up and comer, because then it's like if you got Rose like goes out there and beats Aaron, and now she's up in line. I don't know how much they're really going to be keen on fighting each other for the title, and so it's like I don't know. I would not be too surprised if Valentina looks to move up to become champ.
I could see it. I just think she felt like she got screwed over too many times at 135 by judges and stuff. There's a reason like she was really like trying to find a way to get out. Like she was kind of like getting just extremely frustrated because she felt like she beat Nunes in both fights, but the second one being a lot closer. But it's like for the title, and it's just like.
But no, so I just wonder, because it's like.
Because I can understand that, but at the same time, as you get older, you don't get stronger and things like that. Like, and she was getting taken down before she moved down, so it's not like.
No, for sure.
And now so I'm like, I personally think she probably just retires in the division, whether that be, another, let's say 2 or 3 title, like if she can get to another 2-3 title defenses, or after her potentially next loss.
That's very possible as well. Yeah.
It just all kind of is going to fall on what ends up happening. I think she can beat Manon. Not easily, but like Manon is also not a very like extremely active on the fighter.
Yeah.
And also 36, 37 if I remember right.
30 I think maybe 34, 35.
Really? 34?
Yeah. I didn't
pretty
think
sure
that
last
old.
time it was I knew she was older.
Yeah. But no, it definitely, no matter what Valentina decides to do, she's going to be one of the greatest fighters of all time, and I'm going to be excited to see what her and the UFC decide to go with next. Going on down to the featured bout, though.
Someone building their legacy.
For a quick second, I thought first round knockout, it was going to be signed, sealed, and delivered. Diego Lopes.
Oh my God.
Getting his wish of getting it done quick and early, ready to go corner Alexa Grasso. Because that fucking right hand followed by the left hook on Brian Ortega. Bruh, he was not there when that landed. He went unconscious.
No.
But the recoverability, the chin, the heart of Brian Ortega.
I'm wondering if
incredible.
Because the way it happened, like, I'm wondering if the left hook actually woke Ortega up.
I think so, honestly.
Because the way he was dropping, I'm like, oh, this is over. And then he gets hit with the left and he kind of, like, jolts back up. And I'm like, he just woke him up with a second shot.
Yeah. It just absolutely crazy. Motherfucking Diego Lopes gets it done by unanimous decision over Brian Ortega. Don't know how he was able to survive some of those shots throughout the entire fight, but just it's one of those things. We knew that he was tough as hell. We thought Diego would be powerful enough to like get the knockout on him. Damn near like super close a few times, but
I feel if Diego was more committed to the knockout and stood him up instead of following him to the ground, he could have gotten it.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining about his performance, but I do think he could have gotten it if he stood him up while he was hurt like that,
I do think that was a bit of a pride thing of, like, because also when he went down there, like, he looked like he was looking for submission. Because, like, if you're the person who submits Brian Ortega or knocks him out, like, either way, that's a feather in the cap. But like, I feel like submitting Brian Ortega.
Yeah, because he would have been the first
feather.
person to do it for sure. He wanted to get that done.
Oh, yes. And just talking about in the preview that like for either of them, if they were able to win by submission, that would be the biggest feather in their cap of getting the win. You know what I mean? So yeah, easily he wanted to get that. But Ortega, he's crafty as hell on the ground and on the feet. He knows how to survive for sure. But
God damn.
One of those guys that's too tough for his own good. Absorbing 106 significant strikes by Diego Lopes in that one. Ortega landing 63 of his own. The power was just too much. Diego was just too physical in all the exchanges and was just... It's like for a moment I thought that he might have like into the second round and stuff. Like it did look like he slowed down a little bit from the first. I'm just like... he cannot let Ortega like start to bounce back and get back into this fight and let him take over because Ortega is king of the comebacks, third round finish. If you give him a chance, he's gonna find a way to get you out of there. But Lopes just tough and durable as well, and just no quit in him. And just a very solid and easy win for him to get it done over 3.
Oh yeah.
No, 100%.
So you think that with Max and Ilya happening soon, and Diego, this being his 4th fight in the past, 11 months, you think he's willing to kind of take a little break and sit out for that title shot next? Because this is now his 3rd top 15 win with the Ortega being in the top 5, you know what I mean? Or, well, I guess it's hard because Volk. Never mind, sorry.
The thing that I'm worried about is they're going to look to just go to Volk and Ortega. Or Volk and Lopes in some sort of time while they
Lopes
wait.
Just knocks him out.
I mean, there's such a good chance of that. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? But because
Max not potentially submits him.
Because it's like, who knows? Like, we're getting Ilya and Max in October. But who knows when like the winner is gonna be ready, and especially like if Ilya does get it done, like who knows just how long all of that's gonna take. If at any point the UFC is looking to fill a big fight on a big event, Lopes is down for a short notice fight, Volkanovski's down for a short notice fight. The fight makes sense and it's relevant to the division. It's such a possibility.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that Volk has also said if Max or Ilya come out, whoever wins comes out with an injury and is, unable to fight for a couple months, he would fight. He would not mind fighting Diego Lopes for an interim title.
Did he say that?
Yes.
Well, so there you go. I didn't even know that. So yeah, that almost 100% guarantees in my mind that this fight is going to happen. Because that's just who these two guys are, and they could easily result in 3 knockout losses in a row for Volkanovski.
But at this point, who else does with respect, with Diego Lopes, it's like who else is he really gonna fight besides for waiting for a title shot? It is literally we're in this situation at this point. It's like, all right, we just gotta deal with it.
Yeah, because he was number 12 and just beat Ortega at number 3. Like anyone else is behind him at this point. It's Max and Volkanovski above him. That's it. He's in there with the greats. He's in there with the legends. That is the path that he is on now. And God fucking damn it, let's go, man. I am so.
Do we
excited.
Finally get Ortega outside of the top 5?
Well, he has been talking about that he wanted to move up to 155. And
I don't know how that goes for him.
Oh yeah, I don't know, but he said win or lose like that after this fight. That's the plan. So we'll see who he ends up getting match made with. I do hope for his sake, especially that it's like if they're gonna do top 15, back half of top 15, like they can't give him a top 5, top 10 guy. I feel like he just gets mollywopped.
If Benoit Saint-Denis wins, I would not mind seeing him versus Moicano.
Yeah, that would be amazing. A rematch. Fought at 145 years ago. Rematch at 155.
When Moicano was killing himself to make 45.
Yeah. So yeah.
So now
that'd definitely be interesting. Well, let's go. 145. Great division. Great contenders. Great fights. 155 pounds, another amazing division, and boy, did it produce an absolutely incredible war between Esteban Ribovic and Daniel Zellhuber.
Bro, this was straight up Muay Thai.
It was so fucking ridiculous. There were so many points I thought either one of them were just gonna go down or get put to sleep. No idea how fucking Zellhuber stayed up on his feet and didn't get dropped by Ribovic at all during that. What was that, the second or third round?
Third round.
The third round.
Third.
But it just absolutely ridiculous. Ribovic landing 156 significant strikes, Zellhuber 121. Yeah, fight of the night.
Bro, you know, because the way Esteban rocked him multiple times, and then after getting like just beat up on the cage so bad to the point where it was like, bro, like the ref is gonna stop it any second. And then he just found his movement, and he just started following those shots just all the way down, all the way up, and Esteban actually started missing, and then he came back, and he got a knockdown himself in that round. Like,
yeah, it was so funny, like, because you said, like, as we were watching, you said, like, oh, he found his rhythm. Like, bro, he would start rolling like that, and, like, when he started doing that, in my head, I'm like, he's unconscious, and that's just muscle memory. And then he would do that and, like, stand up to, like, start to retreat, and I'm like, oh, he's fine. And then he would just stumble as he's walking away. I'm like, oh, he's not fine. And then Ribovic back on him, and he starts doing it again. I'm like, he's done. He's, like, incredible.
You know what?
Incredible.
You know what? I was about to say, Jimmy, you know what it looked like to me when he was doing all that, when he was trying to, do all the movement and everything? It looked like someone who just figured out how to do head movement on UFC 4 and was just going all the way.
Spinning that stick all the way in circles, just getting out of, like, everything. But it was timed perfectly.
I was going to say, that shit worked for him, though.
It worked.
And they deservedly got fight of the night. It was an incredible performance. Split decision to Esteban. Awesome. Honestly, I personally think that the greatest outcome from this could have been a draw.
Yeah.
If Zellhuber would have gotten the first 2 rounds and then a 10-8 for Esteban round 3 and it went to a draw, I would have been so happy with that. No extra loss for any of them, you know, like it was so incredible.
I did think that Zellhuber should have gotten the decision in my opinion, but it like you said, it was such a good fight. It's like I can't be mad at that. It was so close.
Yeah.
For them for being in the same year as Max Holloway and Justin Gaethje, because if this did not happen, or if that did not happen, this could easily be fight of the year.
Yeah.
This is number 2.
Yeah, it's in the talks, but it's like one
we
of those
know
things
it's number
where it's
1.
like you're in the talks, but you're not really in the talks type deal. And like Luke Thomas said on Twitter, however much these two are getting paid for this, it is not enough.
Yeah.
No, that's why I'm happy they got the bonus.
And and my immediate thought, like as soon as it ended, it was just like in like the next 2 or 3 years, we're about to lose so many Hall of Fame fighters at the top of 155 pounds, and it's going to be really sad for a little bit. Boy, are we in good hands for the future, though.
Yes.
We are going to have our guys that are going to put on the consistent wars at the top of the division eventually, and it'll never in short supply of violence at 155 pounds. Going on down to the pay-per-view opener, 125 pounds, Ronaldo Rodriguez taking on Ode Osborne. Holy shit, they got me hyped up at the press conference for this fight because it's one of those things that it was so funny and enjoyable to watch 2 motherfuckers just absolutely yelling crazy at each other, not speaking the same language or know what they're saying to each other. Ronaldo actually knowing like a little bit because you had Zellhuber translating everything that Ode was saying to him right next to him. So that was like actually pretty funny during the press conference. This was a wild fight, a great fight. God damn.
The first round was fucking insane because how Ronaldo get knocked out, sub to sleep, and still win the fight.
Yeah.
You know? Because it's like he gets dropped pretty early into the fight. Whatever's happening on the ground, Ode ends up wrapping up a triangle choke. And he had it in tight. He was holding it in for a long time, and somehow Ronaldo was just still there. But once Ode let go, you seen he was still hunched over, like not like, oh, I'm free, I gotta go. He was like, oh shit.
He just stayed in that position.
Fell into his guard and just stayed there for like 40 seconds, like I'm not alive. And then he got it back together and went on to win the decision.
Yeah, it
was pretty fucking crazy.
If Ode got the decision, we would have had a second coming of Zhang Weili versus Yan Xiaonan, where you get knocked out, subbed, and decisioned all in the same fight. But like you said, to basically get knocked out, because he was knocked out unconscious. Like, he caught that kick, landed the right hand, and he was gone for a second. Gone with the choke. And, to come back and get it done over 3 rounds, it was one of those things where the Mexican fighters on this card, overall, they did terrible. It was such a bad overall record for them.
2-7.
Yeah, 2-7. Last Noche UFC, they went 3 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 1 no contest. A pretty ridiculous way to get a overall result. But 2-7 for this one, so bad. But the goddamn Mexican fighting spirit was shown on all these motherfuckers throughout these fights. It was just incredible to watch.
Oh yeah,
it really was. Oh my god.
And then the prelims, it was amazing there too. Irene Aldana, that cut is probably the worst cut I've ever seen in my life out of the UFC.
Yeah, hell yeah, especially after seeing that video of her at the doctor oh my god, terrible. And like what sucks the most about this for me, for her, is I just feel bad because it's like you see terrible cuts from elbows, knees, punches, whatever. But this shit was an accidental clash of heads.
Yep.
She goes, the second round ends, she goes to the corner, they're trying to make it stop. Fight starts, it's not stopping bleeding. A couple punches are thrown. She's wiping it away. She's taking her shirt to wipe her eye. The blood is pooling up under her fucking eye, nose, cheek, just all over there, just wearing a whole crimson mask. It was awful. I know you couldn't see the cut, but it's like you see refs stop things, sometimes even questionably, because they think that, the blood might be getting in the eye. This was clearly in her eye. They never stopped it, and by the end, that was horrendous.
Yeah.
Oh god, that was horrendous, and she never stopped moving forward.
Yeah, and because that's what I was
very Irene-like, but
it's like that was the thing that easily made it worse, because for 15 minutes she walked into the punches of Norma Dumont, who it's like she is really starting to like put together a good run moving up this division. Like, she is a very good, and like I feel like the fight IQ is really the biggest thing that is starting to show throughout these fights. She knows what she needs to do exactly to win these fights, and she's getting it done.
Yeah, because I was surprised. At first I thought Irene was gonna win, and then I was like, oh shit, Norma's just gonna grapple fuck her. Like, she's gonna win this by grapple. And then she came out, and she went 0-5 on takedowns. It was 2 in the second, 3 in the third, but they were real half-assed things, kind of just to get Irene thinking. You could tell there was no commitment. She wasn't really trying, and she really put just a whooping on her. Like, overall significant strikes, 159 to 69. Like,
no one landed more than her throughout the night of Noche.
Yeah. She just really put on a great performance.
Yeah, it just absolutely ridiculous.
Did she call anyone out after she won?
I don't think so. Not that I remember. I can't recall.
Okay.
But
yeah, this puts her in 5-6 range. So like people above her like Mace Chasson, Ketlin Vieira, Juliana Pena, Kayla Harrison. Like, she is at the point where it's like you're looking at a win and one more win, and you're in a title shot. Essentially.
For sure, she's right there. Then next 2 fights on the prelims, the only finishes we actually got on this card, we got 1 knockout, 1 submission. The rest of the fights are all decisions. Yeah. Ignacio Bahamondes, bruh, man. I mean, I was rocking with Bahamondes the entire time. I thought that he could get it done. I thought this was going to be a rough-ass fight for him. I thought in order for him to get it done, it was going to be like he was almost going to get knocked out about 10 times before he was able to do it late in the fight. Bruh, you cannot just run into fucking Bahamondes throwing punches, and then as soon as you do, your hands are just down, and you're just ready to get countered.
Yeah.
Just, oh my god.
But I mean, shit, that first knockdown and the ground and pound he took to then recover and stand back up, I was like, how?
I thought he was done.
How?
When
Super
he
done.
Fell, the way he fell, I was like, he's done. It's
Super
over.
done.
It's over.
Yep.
And no.
Somehow.
No.
Got back up and then got knocked the fuck out.
In the same exact way.
Yep. Yeah. So it just, Bahamondes, great performance, absolutely amazing. But man, that was a rough loss for Manuel Torres. He really gotta rebuild a few things and just like come back just with a little bit restructured game plan of not running face first into counter shots.
He's definitely got to retool, because at 155,
yeah, man,
that's hell.
Yeah. And then Ketlin Souza with the other finish over
Jesus.
Yasmin Jauregui.
Beautiful.
It's beautiful and so sad.
Yeah.
That left hook to absolutely crush Yasmin.
And then to just
my
hop on
God.
top and yank her neck like that.
Yeah,
She didn't
just
care. She didn't have the
quick.
spot. She said, give that to me.
Yep. Just one of those things of, in those opportunistic moments, going for submission over position, it pays off. Because if they're
Just go
hurt
for
enough, if you're good enough to, like, grab it up, hold on tight, use that to get to where you need to be, then it's done. It's money.
Yeah.
And just 3 minutes and 2 seconds into the first round, that's all it took. Both the finishes also in the first round. So.
No, yeah. I was about to say, like, if you're going, like, that is one thing I will say, like, with what you're saying. If you get to the ground via takedown, position over submission. If it's down because you knocked them down and they are hurt, go for the submission. Try to wrap something up immediately, because more than likely you will get it, because they're dazed, confused. They're like, what the fuck just hit me? All of a sudden, now there's something around my neck.
Yep, exactly. Absolutely beautiful for her. Definitely getting some good stock on her name after a win like that. We'll see where she goes in the strawweight division. Motherfucking Joshua Van on short notice.
Another great fight.
The second round, he ripped that left hand to the body and fucking hurt Shirez, and I was just like, exactly how I envisioned it. This is perfect. But motherfucking Edgar, tough as shit to withstand it.
Yes.
Oh my God. The one thing that I do got the biggest beef with from Edgar is he was about to go down from the barrage of strikes, holding on to the cage very clearly,
that pissed me
and
off.
used that to a spinning back fist to rock Van crazy.
I totally
in the
forgot about
combination.
that. Oh my God.
That changed everything in that fight. I honestly think that was like a key moment to keep him in that fight to make it throughout the 3 rounds.
100%, because he was super hurt. Like you said, you could tell he was keeping himself up. And then, the way he just used that to rip that elbow.
It was so beautiful,
stopped
though.
but it stopped Josh right in his fucking tracks.
Had him rocked and hurt right after, but just an absolute war between them. Amazing fight. Just Joshua Van, just definitely unadvisable quick turnaround after his last knockout loss to Energy, but what a way to bounce back, though.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and he ate some fucking shots.
Oh,
he did.
Like, Jesus.
Yeah, man.
But landed another 118 strikes, you know.
Yeah.
Still moving up that
Yup.
activity pool, because Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, man. Absolute monster in this division. And then opening up the car, Raul Rosas Jr., Richie Lang. Basically, the Raul fight that we were expecting for the most part, dominant in the grappling when he went to it. Thought it was going to come a little bit easier for him to like get an easy sub or ground and pound something early. But ended up going all 3 rounds. Second round at one point deciding to just swing and bang with a Richie Lang, and I was like, okay, Rosas, this is not the fucking game plan. Like, but didn't matter. Gets it done over 3. Solid performance, but definitely not the performance with trying to say that at 25 years old he wants to already be the champ and do like all the accolades and have retired at that point. That is a very hard thing to want to accomplish in the UFC.
No, 100%.
I think the biggest reason he just was swinging and banging with Richie Lang is because it was in the second round. Like, he went 0 for 3 in takedowns on there. Like, Richie was really good in that round about like takedown defense, sprawl, like get off and all that and disengage. Like, he was really good about it in the second round.
For sure.
But then he got taken down twice in the third.
Yeah. It was just like, he had the, like you said, in the second half of the moments of keeping it up, but like it was as soon as he got taken down, then it all started to just roll downhill fast, you know?
Yeah.
Good win for Raul.
It's one of those things where it's like with Raul, like I'm wondering like where he like, because that's the type of fight I wanted to see. I wanted to see like, you know, some adversity in this fight. I wanted to see like how he dealt with it. And it's like, okay, the swing and banging, that was still not a good idea. He won, you know, kind of the exchanges, but it's still like, dog, you're 19, you can't do that forever type stuff. So it's like really like thinking about like who next for him, just because it's like he wants top 15 and I'm like,
not yet.
Pump the brakes.
I feel like the highest I think that they should give him is Chris Gutierrez. I think that's an extremely tough test. that is someone who has fought a lot of good fighters. He put together, like a good run, lost to some like better guys, like moving up.
Yeah.
But I think that is a real tough test, and it's one of those things where it's like, if he gets it done over Chris, even if it's like not the most impressive or whatever, it's one of those things where it's like, it may be close fights, but he's still getting it done, and it's like, as he just goes up, maybe certain styles, and as he starts to grow and develop a little bit more, like just the certain matchups against better guys where we're like, oh, well, we struggled with him, he's gonna get fucked up, he might just use that moment to shine, you know what I mean? But
I understand that, and I do like that as an opponent, actually.
I feel like that'd be a pretty good one.
I can't think of anyone else off the top of my head who I'm like 100% like, yeah, no, actually, this guy.
Yeah.
But,
But great fight card. Noche UFC. Bro, I really hope that they don't do this as a one-time thing at the Sphere. They got to make this an annual thing.
They're not going to.
I know that they're not going to. I don't want them to make it an annual thing with Noche, but it's just like...
How about they just start holding the 100 events there, UFC 400 gets held there. Every few years, they'll throw $20 million into production.
Just fucking Riyadh season fucking presented by whatever the fuck. That's where the money comes from.
I did see someone send a tweet out that, all right, you did this, and they really appreciate it, but they're like, I would love to see you do like a love letter to like Pride in like Japan in Saitama Super Arena as an event at some point now. Now that you're showing you're really going to go full in on some shit.
Ain't never going to happen.
Not for Pride so much, more for Japan, because I do think that'd be really... I think that would be really cool. I don't think they're going to do it, but I would be really interested to see them doing things like that.
But not yet. We'll see what they decide if they do anything this spectacular ever again. Probably not, but one could hope. We got a few fight announcements, but really not too much, but it's some solid ones. Main event for UFC 309 MSG. It's official. We all knew it was going to be here. John Bones Jones taking on Stipe Miocic, right? Yeah, hooray. It's on the books finally. Just, we're close. Almost finally past this chapter of the heavyweight title picture. So, moving on to goodness. The co-main event, though, holy shit. Motherfucking Michael Chandler, he's done waiting, and he got himself a great fight. A rematch. 5-round co-main event at MSG against Charles do Bronx Oliveira.
Listen. 155 right now, and they're like top guys that have been around. I don't give a fuck. I could watch their rematches over and over and over again.
Yep.
I don't care how many times you want to book a Chandler and Oliveira and Dustin, a Dustin and Justin, a Dustin and Chandler, a Chandler and Gaethje. Like, I do not give a fuck. Book
Gaethje
it as long as you can. Like,
it's like, that's why it's so hard for these guys to break into the top, because it's just all these guys are just been fighting each other forever. But those are the best fights to make.
They're so good every time.
Yeah.
Every time.
Violence. Like, when the fuck do those fights end in a fucking decision? You know what I mean? So very rarely, and even if they do, it's amazing the entire time. So it's like just incredible. That's gonna be absolutely amazing. Big fight at 185 pounds. Oh, they are sending my boy out to get slaughtered once more. It's so sad to watch this year in and year out.
He's about to officially be a 50-50 fighter.
Paul Craig, my boy.
What do you mean?
Huh?
What do you mean 50-50?
He's 9-8-1.
Yeah, he's about to go 10-8-1.
Okay,
Paul
Slay.
Craig taking on Bo Knackle. Oh my bro, I don't know. Like, in my heart, like, quick thought, it's just like Bo's just gonna roll over him, right?
Secondary thought
is Paul Craig. You know what I mean?
Paul fucking Craig,
bro. How amazing would it be for Bo to be some legendary fighter? He just ends up like with all these accolades, all these title defenses. He's like 25-1. His one motherfucking loss is Paul Craig. Bro, if Paul Craig can get it done, let Bo Nickel beat everyone else in the world in this division. I don't care. Don't care. Let it be Paul Craig.
It has to be, because Paul Craig took Jamal Hill's he took Kennedy Nzechukwu's he took Magomed Ankalaev's he took Luis Enrique de Silva's he took Carl Moore's
Yes.
So
Like,
many fighters,
This
bro.
man is an undefeated killer.
Please, the hyped up guy, the super hyped up guy against. Oh my god, incredible!
Please.
One of the greatest match made fights you could definitely do for fucking Bo Nickel at this point in his career.
Yes.
The
thing I have to say right now, as we're saying this, is it even if Bo Nickel loses to Paul Craig, that is not a fraud check because
it
it's
is, though.
Paul fucking Craig.
To everyone in the world, it is.
No, I
Dude,
know, but it's Paul Craig. It's
if
like
Paul Craig
losing to
loses
Michael
this fight, to
Johnson.
Kate's point, he's a 50-50 fighter in the UFC. If Bo Nickel loses, fraud check. Like, they're talking about him as, like, the next fucking guy, you know what I mean? You can't be the next guy and lose to Paul Craig. I mean, that's what happens to all the next guys, but, like, but not to the fans.
What do you mean?
But the fans don't understand
it
this.
happens to all the next guys.
The fans that say fraud check don't understand this, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they don't
I
understand the
know.
Paul Craig wins or the Michael Johnson wins. Like, they're gonna make those losses on people's records get taken away from them.
I know, but like that's my point. That's why I'm saying it now, so they understand later on. It's not a fraud check.
But yeah, incredible. I can't wait for it. And then the last fight announcement, Kate. I can't remember it off the top of my head.
Carolina and Denise Gomez.
That's what it was. Carolina Kovalkiewicz. She is back, and she's taking on Denise Gomes. I hate this fight so much. I hate it so fucking much. Kate, when it got announced, Kate was like, yeah, Denise into the top 15. And I'm like, no, she must get shut down. I will not let her fucking continue this path through Carolina. It can't happen. Not
She
KK,
has
man.
to.
She's so old.
The thing is that she already lost to Angie Hill, so she gave you that, and now she's got to beat KK.
No, she's gonna
No.
lose to all my girls in her step up.
No, she does
Yeah.
not.
It's okay. She's what, 24?
Yeah, she's 24.
Young as shit. You can take a loss to Carolina at 24 years
No,
old.
you can't.
You can.
Yes, you
It's
can.
fine. Like
has to
Carolina get a
win.
few more wins, retire
No.
gracefully. You know what I mean? We're good.
Carolina
She can
needs to
lose this
win.
one and then win a couple and then retire
No.
But if she
gracefully.
loses, she's gonna get fucked up. And I don't want that.
She'll be fine.
Carolina
Look,
can touch and go to a decision against Denise. You know what I mean? That's way more okay for my heart. But yeah, those are all of the fights to be announced for this episode. Let's go. I hope everyone enjoyed this one. Noche UFC at the Sphere was absolutely incredible. Definitely an event to remember. There is nothing next week, sadly, for the UFC. So we will catch you next time on the preview to UFC Paris for KT's birthday. Yeah! Benoit Saint-Denis versus Moicano. Moicano won money.
Money.
We'll catch you then, everyone. Peace out.